Welcome to Post-Grad Movies. Why are you touching your beard like that? It's creeping me out. Don't do that. Stop. Ugh. That'd be funny if you did that and like a Cheeto fell out.
That's the mustache. That's what this is for. It's a convenient scoop for food when you're eating out of a spoon or something, and then you store it, and later on it just falls into your mouth, and you're like, "Oh, God, I ate that earlier."
That's so gross.
Man, I was hungry to begin with. Thank you, mustache. For
Oh,
a
that's made me
convenient
gag a little bit.
storage
No,
location.
Stop. I'm just imagining like you're eating yogurt and then some of it like gets crusty on your beard and then it just like flakes off in your mouth and that's just a gnarly picture.
I mean, that's basically my Wednesday, so...
Can I start the podcast?
No, you're not starting the stupid podcast again.
Welcome to Post-Grad Movies. I'm the Cognitive Gamer. I'm here with Cynic25. I'm just kidding. It's Cool Guy.
Really, thank you. We should invite Cynic at some point back. He's hilarious.
You know, he doesn't watch movies.
His
input is, I liked it. Which is great. No, I love the guy, but it's just, he rolls his eyes when we go over our, like, when we try to be all in-depth and artsy about it.
Crazy conspiracy theories about gravity.
But that's what movie criticism is. I mean, it's essentially conspiracy theories about a movie.
No, guys.
People get published for this in journals.
Hear me out. Just hear me out, okay?
I think my analysis of gravity was quite accurate in the fact that it's just one big-ass metaphor for birth. Even from a sperm and egg. I mean, I felt a little Freudian writing it, but I think it was still spot on. Point is, welcome to the podcast.
Point is, you're completely right. That is what gravity was. That is totally what gravity was. I mean, it was
Post-Grad Movies,
explicit.
Episode 15? 18. Wow, shit, really?
Yeah, we're almost
20. We're legal.
I love how you've been making analogies to yearly ages, because like 2 podcasts ago you were like, yeah, we're in high school.
and now creepy people can hit on us.
Are you kidding?
We're on the internet and we're 18.
No, that was totally when we did number 14. That is when creepy people would have started hitting on us.
That's because we were on AOL chat rooms pretending to be people we're not.
Well, yeah, I mean, what else do you do when you're 14?
I totally did that because the internet was new, and then you're just gonna like, what's this thing called a chat room?
You get felt up by a creepy dude.
You can't get felt up on a chat room. And no, I usually went to like women chat rooms. and then
keep going.
Like lesbian chat rooms.
Oh my god.
Because I'm like, what's a lesbian? And I'm like, oh, weird. There's a bunch of women here. These are words that I've never experienced before, and people get curious. That's all I'm saying. It's quite normal. It was just people talking about,
scissoring or something.
No, what? Guy. No, it was actually quite PG-13.
Oh.
Some cursing, but no frontal nudity. Unless it's Calendar Girls, and then you have like that 160-year-old nipple. Oh, God.
Wow. Okay, so anyway,
that movie haunted me, apparently. Was that movie called Calendar Girls? What was that movie called?
I don't even remember. I don't want to know.
Do you remember? It was like about like the 60-year-old, 80-year-olds that made the new calendar.
Oh yeah, I know. I know what it was.
Yeah, I watched that, and I was surprised at the allotted nudity.
How was your goddamn week? Just start talking to me.
I'm broke, man. I am broke.
Post-grad problems.
Post-grad, the problem. Like, yeah, I have. You know how much money I have in my bank account? I told you.
Did it go down, or is it still the same?
Well, it went up a little. Okay, so I have 32 cents. Exactly. I'm actually saying this so people don't rob me. But I have 32 cents. And the problem is I budgeted correctly for everything, and one of my classes was like, hey, guess what? You have to buy this book. And I was like, son of a... God damn it.
Books will ruin you.
They will. I budgeted it accordingly. I had enough money to last me until my next paycheck, which is like a couple days. Even then, I have to pay rent. It's just... Oh, God. So I'm broke. I have money. I don't have money. essentially to eat last night, I scoured Twitter to try to win free pizza, which I did. I won a free pizza. So
Wait a second. So you literally scoured Twitter just for
well,
food deals.
no,
Just for food deals.
okay. So I saw a thing on Facebook that was like, you should follow us on Twitter. So I went on Twitter. I followed this pizza company, and then it was like, if you twit this out, you might win. And I twitted it out, and I won. So I mean, it was a lot more effort for food than probably like hobos should be doing this. That's how easy it is to get free food.
How was the food? How was the food?
It was delicious. Oh my god. So they gave me a tomato pie, which I've never had before, but it's just like focaccia bread with tomato sauce on it. Oh, it was delicious in its simplicity. It was so good. It wasn't greasy like a pizza. You know, like when you get a pizza, it's pretty heavy. Like there's some grease to it.
Right.
There's kind of gross. But this, it was like tangy. It was really good. What else did I do this week? I played some video games, but mostly I've been doing schoolwork. So I had my first week of real classes, which means we didn't go over the syllabus, and the one class assigned over 200 pages of reading, so I had to do that.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
impressive.
it was essentially half a book and then like 5 journal articles for 1 week. I had 1 week to do. Luckily, my job allows me to have 4 hours of nothing time, so I pretty much just sat down and read the book. It was actually quite a fast read, but still,
That's a
that's a
lot.
lot of reading. And
Oh,
then there's like a reading thing that you have to do with it, so you have to answer a bunch of questions. So essentially, I did that for like 3 days straight. It was 3 days straight of reading. I don't think I've ever done that before because I have a stats project due next week, so I have to do that, and then God, and then I have thesis. God, essentially, I'm working on my thesis, but unfortunately, they're deeming it unethical because I want to shock people or I want to punish them in a harsh way.
please
So I have.
explain the idea behind shocking people.
Well, I don't even have to shock them. I just need to induce punishment.
Right.
I have to induce avoidance motivation, which is essentially saying there's going to be a negative outcome if you do badly on this test. So I have to induce that, and a lot of the studies use kind of this hovering punishment of you're getting shocked if you fail this.
Yeah.
But obviously, getting shocked actually not that bad because it hurts for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's like one of those shock pens that just makes you kind of weird on in your hand for like 3 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's essentially I just need to make them feel the pressure of it.
Right.
So then I offered a different solution, which isn't still ethical.
What were you
I was
suggesting?
thinking a bear trap, and like they have to put their hand in a bear trap.
Well, that sounds a lot more reasonable than shocking.
Yeah. No, I just said, you know how you get like research credit
Yeah.
for because they're students in like Psych 100.
Oh, that you
So
would
I
tell
said I
them
was
that
gonna.
the research credit would get revoked?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's
fair.
unethical.
What? Really?
Yeah, apparently because I wouldn't have. It would be fine if I debriefed them at the end of the experiment, but the fact that our participant pool is so small, I would have to tell them at the end of the semester, so that wouldn't work out.
Oh.
Yeah, it sucks.
How about this? Sedate all of your advisors till the end of the semester when you're done, and then wake them up when you've already finished the entire thing.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Who's gonna edit stuff?
That's probably the most ethical suggestion you've gotten.
I should just bring a hammer, and then if they do badly enough, I break one of their fingers. I do this old school mafia style. The other thing I can do is like give them $1 and then take the dollar away or something stupid.
That's
I don't know.
stupid. $1? Come on, $1 in this economy? That's unethical.
They could buy a pack of gum.
So,
Sort of.
$1 is not nearly enough.
They almost have enough for a song in iTunes.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, definitely
Okay,
not.
that was my week. How's your week? Are you
Well,
broke as well?
yeah, I am completely and utterly broke.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome.
well, I mean, all of my money is going into watching movies, am I right? So,
I hope I get paid this week just so I can go to see a movie or something. Get a job at the movie theater. That's what I really need. Like just work one night a week.
free
and that-
movies.
3 movies.
Yeah, no,
That would
yeah,
be worth
and
it.
that way you could also watch I Frankenstein and not kill yourself afterwards.
Shut up! God damn it! That movie looks like shit. I hated the Underworld series. I don't know how people like that crap.
Yeah, well. All right, but anyway, let me see. My week, I obviously I'm gonna have to stop mentioning the fact that I made videos because that's obvious. I'm supposed to we do 3 videos a week at
Post-grad games. Check it out.
on YouTube.
Play games.
Yeah, so we do
Yeah.
3 videos a week. So I made videos.
I get yelled at by you because my videos aren't of good quality.
Well, I mean, whatever. Anyway, apart from that, what I did this week was obviously I went to the forest to do some more work, and it was really funny because I walked in to the little place, the little place where we all live, and as soon as I walk in, the guy that's the head of the actual recovery project for the parrot.
He's not just a head.
No, he's not just a floating head. We're not.
The guy that's a head told me off because I was giving him a weird look.
We're not in Futurama here. So basically, I walk in and he goes, "You," and I'm like, "What?" And he says, "Sit here." And I go over and I sit down. I'm like, "I'm in trouble." And he looks at me and he goes, "What are your Oscars picks? You have a podcast."
At least they know we have a podcast.
Right. Yeah. So basically, we just started talking about Oscars movies and all that jazz. So it was an interesting conversation. And obviously, I had just gotten done with watching Her and the Oscar-nominated documentary The Act of Killing. And the podcast is right now focusing on Oscar movies, except for the one that we watched this week because the Cognitive Gamer convinced me otherwise.
What other? I couldn't. What do you?
We could have done. Theaters sucked, so here's a movie.
We could do that this week. Theaters still suck.
That's true. Theaters will suck. So yeah, I had some great Oscars talks. But yeah, I started in the actual giant forest of Puerto Rico, the most well-known forest. And I'm supposed to be doing some recording for birds because we're studying regional dialects. So basically, the idea behind this study, it's for the person that I'm working with's master research, is that we have 2 populations of Puerto Rican parrots, one in El Yunque and one where I work. And they're separated by like 20 miles or so or more, 20 or 30 miles. Okay. And basically the one in El Yunque, we get a lot of flow of birds back and forth depending on what we need.
Like, hey man, I'm from El Yunque. What are you doing here?
Well, huh? Yeah. It's something like that.
On like the upper west side. Like, hey, it's okay. We're just cool, man.
Are you?
We're just parents.
Are you trying to sound like
white people? Hello, white people.
Like Cleveland from Family Guy.
I guess I could work. No.
God, I forgot how funny that was. Anyway.
Yeah, that's like the best joke. Man, our comedy podcast is essentially we're not a podcast. We're not a comedy podcast.
No, we're not a comedy podcast at all.
We're entertaining.
No, we're not.
So do some birds like have night fights and the other ones have like tea time?
No, well, basically through dialects. So some of the birds in El Yunque squawk differently than the birds where I work in the other forest. And it's really, really funny because I didn't think I would be able to tell the difference between them. But when I went over to El Yunque and I started recording the birds and I was hearing them squawk in the background, I was like, this sounds odd and different. It was really weird because basically in the forest where I work, you walk around all of these giant cages that have all of the birds and you hear them squawking all the time, almost all day. Yeah. And you get used to the way that they squawk. And then when I went to El Yunque, it sounded way different.
So did any of them make the sound that the like mockingjays do from Hunger Games?
No, it didn't. And then someone gets beaten to death, just bludgeoned.
Oh God. So I'm ignorant.
Okay.
How does this help the world in any way?
Well, this helps the world at least in front of conservation, because Amazona conservation, which is basically the Amazona genus, all of these types of parrots, a lot of them are in danger of extinction.
Okay.
And basically the way that this helps is that we would be able to establish that our species of Amazona actually has dialects. And that has a lot to do with the way that we intermix, because that means that it is harder for some of the birds to communicate with some of the other birds, meaning that any type of flock mechanics and any type of flock interactions will either take longer or will just not work. So if we're trying to conserve these birds, we have to make sure that we put pairs of birds together that make sense and that can speak to one another.
Got it.
Essentially.
So one's like, hola. And the other one's like, no habla inglés.
Exactly. Yes. That's basically how it is. And it's really funny because you will see if you bring birds from El Yunque over to our forest, you'll see that when we put them in the cage, they got to get acclimated to the way that the ones over here speak. And you'll see that the ones that are from over there will tend to kind of stay together, kind of form a little clique, because they can't really talk to the other people. So they're like Asians when they come over to a school. Because, they all stick together. All of the Asians always stick together. It's just like that.
But that's because they all knew each other beforehand.
And they all speak the language. That is
just foreign exchange students. You didn't have to be like,
no, because foreign exchange students will meld together, especially if they're like English, because they'll be having sex with all the women here. Come on. Oh, come on. Okay, so when I was living in a certain hall in Colorado State University, which shall remain nameless, there was this exchange student from England that came, and the guy was like, oh, whoa, I'm English. And the entire time he was there, he slept with every girl in that hall. Almost every girl. He started from the first floor and worked his way up, just hall after hall after hall. Why? Because he was English, and women are stupid when it comes to English people.
Sexism aside, because it's quite rude what you just said.
It wasn't rude. Go on.
It is.
It's true. It's not true.
But hold on. Why don't birds operate like that?
Okay, birds operate like that to a certain point. Because, they can have different dialects, and that's fine. But if you get ones
they're not going to flock to it.
If you get ones whose dialects are different enough, then that's the equivalent of speaking a completely different language.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
So,
and also, no, men could find accents attractive as well.
But that doesn't mean you have to be stupid about it. Come on. Men can, I'm not saying men can't find accents attractive, and I'm not saying that men can't be just god-awful idiots about it either. I'm just saying that the women in the hall where I was living in were idiots. Doesn't exclude men.
And not all women, obviously.
Actually, it was a good 85% of the women in the hall were idiots. Oh, completely. It was to the point where they were going like, their logic was, he slept with everyone else, why doesn't he just sleep with me? And they would go over and offer themselves to sleep with him. That is...
sounds like college.
That is gross. That is gross.
Like we lived for like...
No. Sounds like we lived? That is a lie. We never lived like that at all.
Women gracefully came to our doors, throwing themselves upon us, and we had to be like, no, I am a gentleman.
Oh yeah, that is totally how it happens. Says the people that have been talking about Yu-Gi-Oh in the beginning of the podcast for like 3 weeks in a row.
I still date women, and women find me attractive for some reason, even though I enjoy the Yu-Gi-Ohs. Here's at the Odin, that's all.
Oh my god.
Of different X.
Oh my god. The point that I was trying to make,
and people find,
is that regardless,
people must have this. I want to know what people think, what we look like from our voices.
Right? Yeah, that would be.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
That cool guy is probably a 300-pound.
A 300-pound black man
who eats pizza all the time. That puts like
my god,
jalapeno poppers on pizza, and then
that just sounds like you.
Oh man, that is so good. And now people think I'm a 300-pound person. I mean, I even
Oh my God.
revealed my weight in an issue, like or a magazine.
Oh man.
Oh God.
Anyway,
Where were
the
we?
point
No,
is,
accents can be sexy. I could find them attractive. Like,
I get it, but that doesn't mean that you have to act like an idiot. Where the dude goes like, "Hey, you want to have sex with me?" and just because he has an accent, immediately you go for it. That's stupid. But then again, I'm a hopeless romantic, and I think that that is insanely slutty, whether it's a dude or a chick. I don't
Jesus.
care, or
And
anything in
there goes
between.
most of our audience. Oh my God. I mean, it's probably not the smartest thing ever to do.
Well, but see that the thing is, there's nothing wrong with being a slut. It's just that it's not an agreeable lifestyle for me. In my opinion, like I said, I'm more of a hopeless romantic style and not a go and have sex with tons of people.
I feel like slut is a little bit of a harsh word.
No, not at all. I mean, it's just like the neo-feminists who want to
Oh dear God.
No, it's like the neo-feminists who want to repurpose the word slut because well, not repurpose it, but they accept that it means something good. You know, it's an expression of female sexuality, and that's, I mean, yeah, it is. Men and women can both be sluts. I mean, that's the point.
I wish there was a better word. Can we just call them like I don't know, puppy lovers?
That is gross.
You're a real puppy lover. Cool guy.
Mm.
Mm.
That's gross. That's legitimately
Anyway,
gross. Anyway, the thing that I
God, you just alienated all of our audience because they're all puppy lovers.
our entire audience is a bunch of puppy lovers. So
Worst puppy lovers.
anyway, the
Skanky ass puppy
thing
lovers.
that happened this week was that I got offered to go to a uninhabited island in between Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, which everyone on Puerto Rico has heard of. It's Isla Mona. Everyone in Puerto Rico has heard of it, and everyone knows that it's uninhabited, that it's like a science place or whatever, and everyone would like to go, but it's very rare that you get the opportunity to go. It's on everyone's bucket list and they never manage to get there. And I will be going there next week, which is the coolest thing ever. So
You're
because
so
of
modest.
that, the podcast will be a tiny bit late because I will unfortunately be a few hundred miles away. And by few hundred, I mean like 100 and something.
Oh, it's that far?
It's right between Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. Almost smack dab in the middle.
So you have to like take a plane?
Yeah.
Don't die. Please don't die.
I'll try my best.
Yeah. Also, you got into grad school.
Yeah, well, hopefully. If they accept me,
I thought you were already accepted.
Well, the professor said he would take me. So if I get accepted into the grad program, then the professor will take me on.
Oh, interesting.
I just got to make it through the selection process of the school.
Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah, because essentially, Cynic also applied to a PhD program, and his credentials were a little low, but everybody loved him. So essentially, they were like, "Hey, you have to go on a waiting list now until April, but hopefully we can still take you." And it's like, oh.
That would be cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's still in the master's program.
Right.
It's not that just disappeared. But anyway.
Yeah, but still, that's great for Cynic.
You know what else I did this week?
What?
Played video games.
Oh yeah, I know you played video games.
Yeah.
Mr. Man Slut, we discussed before. Lover. Man Puppy Lover.
Thank you. And no, I've been enjoying some video games. I played BioShock Infinite on 1999 mode. I'm not done with that yet.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's a really I wanted to record it and then I realized it's really boring. So I didn't. Because on 1999 mode, it is tedious and kind of boring to watch because it's me essentially hiding in a corner, popping out to get a couple headshots, and then popping back in.
Right.
And like this is fucking awful TV. And then I played some World of Warcraft because there's like a 10-day trial, and I wanted to show it off.
Right.
And I wanted to do like a look back, essentially being like, how has it changed, Cynic? Because he played it religiously like 10 years ago.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And he said it's exactly the same, if not worse. So I'm like, okay, that's okay. And then, yeah, League of Legends, because there's nothing out.
Yeah,
right.
That's true. Yeah.
But I'm really excited for the Heroes of the Storm, which is Blizzard's MOBA that's coming out, because apparently it's more fast-paced and more about...
is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely add the needed shine. I like their needed shine, but World of Warcraft is pretty stupid. So essentially, all it did was make me hungry to play other games that are better. So
Alright. Fair enough.
yep. I complain about all this work. Let me tell you, I play probably maybe an hour of video games a day, if that.
Yeah.
So I talk about video games because I did play a lot, but that's like over a course of 7 days, and I played like 3 games.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we understand, Mr. Puppy Love. We get it. We get it. You are rolling in the puppy love.
What? No, no. I'm in a monogamous relationship.
You're in a monogamous relationship.
Monogamous.
We watched movies, is the point.
I can talk. I swear. How do you say that word? Menage a trois.
Monogamous.
Monogamous. Egnogamous.
No, monogamous.
It's not egnogamous.
No, that is
where I'm in a solo relationship with eggnog.
Anyway, we watched movies. So moving on to our theaters section.
We need to laugh more.
We just
Well, people tend to laugh longer when there's a laugh track, so we need to add our own laugh track. Or better yet, can we just add a laugh track? Can I just like look one up really fast?
No, that's awful. That's an awful idea.
And then there's always that one weird person in the laugh track that's like laughing really hard.
Right.
It's like,
yeah. And it switches from one scene to the other. In one scene, it'll be a dude going like, oh, and in the other one, it'll be a woman going like,
Did you know some laugh tracks were recorded so long ago that we're laughing at people that are dead, along with people that are dead in the laugh track?
Oh my god, that is so morbid to think about.
It's like when I'm eating the food that belonged to the person that lived in the attic that died.
Oh my god.
Like, this is some dead guy's food.
Oh my, I totally forgot that the dude in the attic in your place of living died, and oh god, that's
Cynic's
weird.
Sleeping in his bed. He lives in his living room.
Oh my god.
And he keeps, I don't know why Cynic hasn't removed it, but there's still possessions of his in that room, and I don't know why he hasn't moved it.
Wow.
Yeah, there's like an alcohol bottle that's half drank of pucker, and I'm like, that just looks weird, I feel, if you just have half a bottle of pucker next to your bed.
So anyway,
you know what pucker is?
Moving on to theaters.
Early drink.
Moving on to theaters, we watched...
What? Movies? What kind of podcast is this? We're 18. I don't have to listen to you anymore. I'm moving out.
Oh my god. So anyway, moving on to theaters, the movie that we decided to watch this time around was Jack Ryan of Duty.
Jack Ryan. Shadow Recruit.
That's basically what that entire movie was. It was Chris Pine running around going like, Jack Ryan! Just the entire time. So anyway.
He did not say his own name.
He did! Once. He did! Of course he did! Every single time he introduced himself to someone, he was like, hey, Jack Ryan. And, oh my god. Anyway. So on IMDb, it's got a 6.6 rating. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 59% with a 50% top critic score. And on Metacritic, it's got a 57%. It was directed by Kenneth Branagh. It stars Chris Pine, Keira Knightley, Kevin Costner, and Kenneth Branagh, among a bunch of other people. So with that out of the way, that's pretty cool, actually. The director was the main bad guy, Victor.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he was good. I like the bad guy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. I liked it too.
So
that was probably the best part of that movie.
So anyway, let's start talking about it.
What is your one sentence review?
One sentence review. Go for
it. Puppy lovers. Kidding. Jack Ryan is Jack Ryan, which is Jack Ryan. I don't know, how do I describe this? It's a mediocre action movie.
That is exactly the same way that I would describe it, except just like we were texting, I would call it Jack Ryan Modern Warfare.
Tom Clancy died for this? Question mark. Oh, that's awful. Rest in peace, Tom Clancy.
Oh my god. Okay, so now let's start talking about it. And I'm gonna start talking about it with the music first.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Standard action modern.
No.
Call of Duty.
Screw you. That was exactly like Call of Duty. That was so unbelievably close to Call of Duty that I felt really, really weird in the theater.
Who's the
Okay.
composer?
The composer? I don't know.
Patrick Doyle.
Okay, so yeah, tell me about Patrick Doyle.
He did Puppeteer, the video game, which is pretty fucking awesome. Actually, oh my god, I totally have that game. I need to watch it. He did the music for Brave. He did the music for Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He did it for Thor, Main Street, Igor, Nim's Island, Aragon, Jekyll and Hyde, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
He didn't
He's pretty renowned.
He didn't do any Call of Duty.
No, he did not do it.
What the hell is up with that?
He did
man?
Puppeteer though. That's fantastic. Now I definitely have to play that.
Well, but he's not the dude that did Call of Duty. So why does it sound exactly like Call of Duty?
Maybe he likes Call of Duty.
Dude, it sounds exactly like it. And okay, you can have the normal action movie music and score in the background. That's fine. But to make it sound like Call of Duty, you have to try, because that has some specific pitches and some specific notes that it hits. And
can we play this music? Because I don't remember
all.
The music was so forgettable that I don't remember what it is. Oh, this music right here. Oh yeah, this sounds like Call of Duty. Oh my god, it totally does. It's the violins, that's why.
Right.
So both of them kind of have like the upbeat dun 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 violins with kind of the drums that are hollow and with a lot of like the ting ting tings.
Right.
So it's like dun 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 dun, and it has the violins going dun 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 dun. This is the music it plays when you're about to do like actiony things.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No. You're right. That sounds pretty cliche in Call of Duty.
So.
But I mean, the whole movie was kind of cliche and.
But yeah, I mean, that's exactly how it works. It's a very cliche thing, but it sounded so Call of Duty that I felt really weird. Because while I was sitting in the theater, all I could think was, I'm not playing a video game right now. I'm not playing a video game right now.
So I'm gonna go off on a tangent now because this plays into the music kind of. The whole entire movie misused its assets and didn't have the oomph. The music was good and could have added to the movie, but instead it was misused. Like a lot of other elements that was part of the movie. For instance, there was no tension whatsoever. In an action movie, you want tension, and there are parts of the movie that you could have easily added it, if cliche. For instance, when Jack Ryan was kind of like running out of the motel or hotel. No, it was the business for the first time. And then, the main bad guys like follow him. Instead of showing anything of him getting followed and adding tension that way, it showed pretty much just Jack Ryan exiting and jumping into a truck, and then the main bad guy being like, "I lost him." There was no tension. There was no buildup. It was pointless. It was absolutely pointless.
Yeah, that scene was pointless. And also, did you notice that there was basically no character development for their relationship, except for the fact that
The rehab.
he was snarky with her in the beginning and she was really friendly to him.
There was some build up, like,
dude, no,
when they're in the apartment together, and he was like, "Why won't you marry me?"
Yeah, okay, but that was basically them telling the plot. You show, you don't tell.
Agreed.
But
No, agreed.
I'm saying that the growth of them as a couple could have been way better. You could have seen more of him in recovery with her hanging out and all that jazz. They could have really built it up for them two as characters, and that would have made the climactic scene in the movie worse, way worse.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the part that they're having a relationship and this secret job that Jack Ryan has puts a weird strain on him. I wish they concentrated on that more instead of pretty much being the Incredibles. Are you having an affair with me? Which I don't think was ever actually said in the Incredibles, right? Like, I think that was a deleted scene that they took out, actually.
Yeah.
Because there was a scene in the Incredibles originally where Elastigirl goes to Mr. Incredible and's like, "Are you sleeping with other people?" But Disney was like, "No, we can't have that." Whoa.
What the hell, Pixar? What the hell?
Brad Bird.
Brad Bird was like, whoopsie daisy.
Brad Bird's great. He's one of my favorite directors.
Yes, I agree.
Go watch John Carter on Mars.
Also, go watch Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, all of those are way better movies than Jack Ryan.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost Protocol.
Oh, good. That's such a good movie.
It is. It is a
Yeah.
great movie.
My girlfriend doesn't like it, but she doesn't like Tom Cruise.
She
So.
also she can suck it because that was a good movie.
That was a great movie. Oh my god, that's such a good movie. She thought it was boring, which I can understand. Like the first hour is pretty slow, but after that, it's great. Anyway,
Yeah.
maybe it's not an hour. It felt like an hour. Anyway, Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. Okay, can I just say, Keira Knightley's acting was terrible.
Yeah, it was whatever. But
Holy crap, was it bad?
I think that also has to do with the director because
And the script writing, maybe.
yeah, because the director was treating her like basically everybody else treats women in action movies, where they're supposed to be eye candy, and I think she would have worked a lot better.
She was not eye candy.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's not a bad thing. Not being eye
No.
candy is not a bad thing.
No.
And I think it could have
course
worked a lot better if it would have just been a relationship between two basically normal people, you know?
She was so two-dimensional.
Yeah, the shots didn't have to be framed the way that they were. They didn't have to be shot in the angles they were shot at because they were trying to make her look pleasant. It didn't need to be that way. But
Also, her lines felt forced. She was not a good actress.
yeah.
The scene where they're in the plane or whatever, and Jack Ryan's showing, for some reason, now he's a savant of detectivism. I don't know what you would call that. A detective savant.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, all of a sudden he knows exactly how to find people, even though I guess apparently all it takes is a PhD and being in a Marine to be superhuman. Which is another thing I'll get to. But the part where Keira Knightley is like, she like stands up and goes like, "Go back." I was like, oh, that just felt jarring at how that line came out. And it's not because of cinematography or anything or script writing. It could have been script writing because that's a pretty vanilla line.
Yeah, it is.
And cliche. But the fact that she said it the way she did was horrendous. And her accent was terrible. So it's
okay, but
God.
that was way better than what I thought was gonna happen because I was gonna have to facepalm through my head again if that actually happened, which would have been he's doing all of those things, and then all of a sudden he looks at her, she looks at him, and she goes like, "That is hot," and just kind of like
I thought that was totally gonna
smiles
happen
a little bit, and then he goes like, "Yeah, baby, this is my day job." You know, something really awful like that. I would have died in the theater. I would have definitely died.
I thought you'd be a little more surprised that her very plain financial advisor, stockbroker husband was all of a sudden catching a worldwide terrorist.
Oh, yeah.
I thought she would react a little bit differently. I thought she would act a little bit differently when he was in the CIA. I'm in the CIA. I kill people. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, thank God you're not sleeping with other people. You're just immoral and kill people. What? What? Son of a... What? Oh, that movie.
Okay, so let's start talking about PhDs because that's kind of our thing. We can talk about it.
I love the fact that
he had
you
a
have
PhD.
And was a Marine. That's right, I am. You're perfect for the CIA. Yeah? Is that what it takes?
You know what was basically my favorite thing ever? When he was in recovery and the dude comes over to talk to him, and you know how I mentioned it before, how you're supposed to show, not tell, right?
Right.
So basically, my favorite scene was he was in recovery, dude comes over to him, and then the dude says, "So tell me, Jack Ryan, why didn't you finish your PhD?" Like, oh my god. That moment right there, I was like, okay, so you're trying to make Jack Ryan out to be this hyper-intelligent type of a person. I get it, okay? You opened with him trying to explain stuff to other people, and then them telling him off or whatever for explaining, and then now you're saying, oh, you're such an honorable person because instead of finishing your PhD, you decided to freaking go to the military and be a patriot or whatever.
I love my country. Yeah. No, I love the part where he was like, you can do anything. You're a Marine. And I was like, vomiting red, white, and blue.
No, the best part for at least that patriotism stuff was when they met after he had killed the Ugandan guy, and they were in the park.
That was like the coolest character too.
I know, he was such a nice guy. So when he met in the park, and basically they were saying goodbye, and he gave him the gun, and all of a sudden you get this like poo 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 kind of like music in the background. Hyper patriotism, American gun culture. It's like, yeah, America, guns, fighting Russians, yeah.
Yeah, that was so cliche.
Oh my god.
Like, of course it's Russians. And they're using Napoleon Waterloo tactics.
The one thing that I did enjoy from the movie was the tactical aspect of the operation.
Yeah, I thought are you talking about like the fact that they played with stocks?
The stock that bit.
That was really cool.
The stock stuff and how they were working with the economic aspects of it was really interesting.
Yeah,
but
really
also another thing that was interesting was tactics, basically. So when they went in and all of the handoffs that had to happen, and then all of the chips that were at play at the same time, that was really cool.
That was stupid.
I thought it was cool, but then again, I'm a sucker for complex, intricate plots like Ocean's 11 style. So
yeah, but it's so cliche at this point, and I hate using that word to degrade a movie, because it's like you can do something that's been done before, but the fact that it handled it not as good as other movies is why it degrades the movie. If this movie was cliches but did those cliches amazingly, it would be a great movie.
Yeah.
But the fact that it kind of just failed ultimately.
Right.
And like I said, I think its biggest thing that I thought it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I would agree with the 55% or 59% or whatever. Yeah, maybe a little lower. But then again, I don't know. Like, it was a fun movie. It kept my attention.
Yeah.
But, you know, the one thing it was missing was oomph. It didn't have excitement like we just mentioned Ghost Protocol. The part where he's like jumping around the side of the building, that's amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and there was nothing like that in Jack Ryan. I mean, the most like, and I know it didn't have the scale or the budget for that, but it could have easily faked it. Like when I was saying before, when the bad guy tells another person to tail Jack Ryan, you could have made that a sequence, but instead you totally just let it die.
Yep.
There's a couple other scenes like that as well, like the taxi following him.
Right.
That was missing oomph altogether.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be. Did it want to be super serious, or did it want to be kind of lighthearted? So instead you get two half-baked sides of the coin, which one was jarring and two not very good. Obviously, it was half-baked. So, yeah. And Keira Knightley was terrible. Oh, Jesus.
So anyway, our review and our advice is,
if you're in the mood for an action movie, it's definitely pretty okay. And I would watch it on Netflix or Redbox. If you like action movies that are slightly cliche, you will enjoy this movie. If you like The Lone Survivor, you'll like this movie. If you liked, name some other kind of generic action movies here. Not Olympus Has Fallen, because that's awful. If you like Die Hard, you'll like this movie. Like,
whoa. Die Hard was a good movie.
No, it was. If you like Live Free or Die Hard, you'll like this movie. Okay? Is that better?
Yeah, that is our review. So with that, we are moving on to our next segment, which is pretty ironic considering the movie that we watched in theaters. And it is our...
That is actually really true. Yeah.
It is our Netflix movie spotlight, totally not sponsored by Netflix yet. And
documentary month.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
basically, it is the Oscar-nominated documentary Dirty Wars. On IMDb, it has a 7.5 rating. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got an 84% and a 76% top critic score. And on Metacritic, it's got a 76%. It is directed by Rick Rowley, and it is written by David Riker and Jeremy Scahill, or whatever this guy's name is. That's the main reporter, journalist guy. So,
you do a one-sentence thing?
Yeah, one sentence, please.
You go first.
Okay, so my one-sentence review is directed kind of forcefully and maybe disagreeably with me. but overall sheds light on something that is very important in the aspect of American political influence and foreign relations when it has to do with wars.
Essentially 1 hour 2020 turned documentary poetry style.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
So let's just jump into it. And let me say, so the story essentially is about shedding light on killings during the war that essentially were controversial, especially with the killings in Yemen during the Afghanistan-Iraqi war.
Right.
I forget what years exactly, but I know it was quite recent with the ending ones of Al-Wada, was that his name? Which actually went to CSU, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, I had no idea.
Which he was a CSU grad? Obviously CSU is not like, we knew him, because that's not very good press in school. Yeah. That's like UNC also had a potential terrorist go to their school. Well, Colorado's weird. But essentially, so it shed light on these killings, essentially green lighted by the U.S. That may have seemed unjustified or without reason,
and basically giving complete judicial oversight to these people as well.
Right. Essentially, it's these killings that are very unethical, even in wartime. Now, what I didn't like about it was the fact that this person, instead of making it straight to the facts, like I think it would have been a 2020, like I think it would have been a very good 2020 cover story, using like real footage and kind of had that feel to it. But instead, he added artsy cinematography and this monotone, emotionless narration by the main person, which I found pretty bad.
Off-putting, yeah.
It's off-putting and just bad. Some of the language that was used was either forcefully poetic or oversimplified. And I get it, it's to convey his emotions in the process of finding them, which is very interesting. But I feel instead of having this narration, why not just talk in the moment and say your emotions at the moment instead of this weird retro, this strange retroactive look at what you completed? It was almost like reading his book. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, I completely agree. I know what
Why not read the book and then have this, the documentary, not be like the book and be more of your thought process during?
Yeah.
But maybe that movie would have been way too long because this is, of course, was like a 6-year journey or 4-year journey.
I mean, I completely agree with everything that you're saying, and that's something that I found, kind of lacking in the documentary was the fact that I didn't agree with the way that the cinematography worked and the way that it was directed. I think that it was trying way too hard to, just in general, but it was also trying way too hard to be one of those movies that gives you a peek through the grapevine. You know what I mean? Or a peek through the blinds. So that's why they use the really, really, really shallow depth of field and the macro photography where you only see a tiny sliver that's in focus and then you have unfocused and unfocused. It was, I don't know, it was overdone, it was overused, and frequently it detracted from what you were trying to get across in the movie.
It was kind of overproduced for a movie that's supposed to be about real. It's supposed to be about these real issues and these real people, but you overproduced it.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have been totally fine with grainy, out of focus.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like visuals of what you had instead of adding these weird lens flares. And did you also notice there was a lot of shots of little kids?
Oh yeah.
Like this isn't manipulative at all.
And they had a lot of shots of dead people or people dying with violins over top.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand it. I can understand what this movie's trying to do. It's trying to make you be outraged. But there's some people that do it with either finesse or comedy, like Michael Moore, who can do it very, very, very well. No matter what you think of Michael Moore, the guy knows how to direct a movie in a way that'll make you feel either outraged or cry. And he's very good at that without being manipulative, so to speak. Because this movie was openly manipulative.
Right.
And I mean, again, I understand why he was doing it, and it's sad. It's really sad, the stuff that happened, but It was really forced. It felt really forced.
But at the same time, I don't think it was. See, I think him being biased makes him not a good journalist. As fucked up as that says, because I know nothing of journalism.
Well, yeah, no,
I know a little bit of journalism, but when you're reporting a news story such as this, to kind of put your own bias to it, like, why did he have to die? I'm like, you're right, why did he have to die? But I think the interesting question that he proposed, which essentially was, why did this American not have a fair trial?
Yeah.
And I think that's huge.
Yeah.
We can get into political debate about that. Like, yes, he was technically maybe a threat, but then he also was an American and he was not allotted his right to a free trial. So therefore, what gave us the right to actually kill him?
Yeah.
Just because he was in Yemen?
Yeah.
Or may have had suspected associations with terrorist organizations.
Right.
But we don't know. And why did his son have to die? I don't know if his son was an American or not.
He was. I think he was, yeah. He was born in the US.
Are you sure? His son?
I'm pretty sure he was, yeah.
And then that's even more, messed up. But I mean, we have no idea what type of intel, what knowledge we had when we made those decisions. But even so,
you can't just bomb American citizens. That's not how it works. The point,
right, exactly.
The point of the First Amendment, which many people mistake, is that you have the freedom of speech and freedom of press and whatnot. You have that freedom to be able to complain and say stuff about the government. It's not about other people. I can't tell you that you're stupid or whatever, and and then I can say freedom of speech, because that's not how it works. The freedom that's protected of speech of people is towards the government and the government alone.
Right.
And the thing is,
and if he was suspected of terrorism, if he was still if he was on American soil, they would have abducted him and thrown him in jail after a trial.
Exactly. Because the thing is, he can say that America sucks, and he can say, hey, I condone the attacks on the United States. He can say that crap, because he can say that crap because all of the other people that are saying crap about Obama, saying that he should be murdered, aren't getting bombed. Okay?
Well, they're not getting bombed. No, but they're getting arrested.
No. If those people...
I'm saying if they had actual, alleged plans for an attack.
Well, but he didn't have alleged plans. He was just...
That we know of. We don't know that.
Right, that we know of.
Right.
But given the evidence that we have at hand right now and the evidence that was presented in the documentary, admittedly biased,
right,
what we know is that he did not have any plans. He was just a priest person that was preaching to a group of Muslim people about his feelings about America. And that is not wrong. That is not wrong, because otherwise we'd have tons of people that would just be getting bombed all over America because they were American citizens. He should have gotten a trial.
Which was the point that the documentary was trying to make.
Yeah.
But it added this spin that was very anti-American.
Oh, yeah.
Even though if this was any other country, they would have just shot him right then and there. So, that's not true, not any other country, but you know what I mean. If this was Yemen. It had this spin that was manipulative, which, the what's his name? John Harmon was the guy who did it?
No. The name of the person was Jeremy Shaw.
Jeremy Shaw. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Shahill. Jeremy Shahill is a writer for The National?
The National, correct.
Which I assume is a very biased type of newsprint. So I can understand that as well. I do think that his uncoveries that he did find and his investigation was very interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was really interested by everything that he found.
Yeah, I mean, I just wish that it wasn't presented in such a biased fashion. That being said, perhaps that's what he was trying to do, or that's how he tried to up it. It's kind of like, it's like a hipster journalist, right? Instead of just going to 2020 and reporting his things, or publishing in the New York Times or Standard News, he made a documentary and wrote a book.
Yeah.
And wrote for The National.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I feel is fine. That's his choice. But it's just, these are pretty big findings and pretty interesting questions.
Oh yeah, definitely. And he found some really big things out. And I think one of the things that really stuck with me the most out of the documentary was that segment, which was relatively small, when he went to Somalia and he was talking to the people there,
Oh,
and
right.
it was basically the warlords that the Americans were funding. And he was talking to them, and they were saying like, yeah, if we capture any people, we kill them because we got to let the other people know that there's no mercy here. And they were openly talking about torture and all that kind of stuff. And that really resonated, at least with me, mostly because of the fact that I am Latin American, and that's literally what the United States has done in all of Latin American history up to now.
What, fund the bad guys?
Fund the people that they go like, no, they're totally all right. Dictator. That's exactly what has happened every single time.
We could even look back at the Act of Killing, the documentary we watched last week, and that was kind of the same story. The West funded, they never said the U.S. directly, the West funded Indonesian killings of communists, quote unquote, on the communists.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's just how we operate.
Yeah, and they just turn a blind eye.
Right.
And then you compare it with Jack Ryan, where they go like where they go like, we're part of the CIA, and then he goes like, CIA tortures and kills innocents, and he goes like, that's not my unit. My unit is good men.
I know, we're the good CIA. Did you enjoy that part? We're the ones who sit behind desks and watch numbers, which is not entirely true either.
Oh my god. Okay, anyway.
Jack Ryan.
We're done with
Jack Ryan was a great documentary and timepiece about the Afghanistan-Iraqi war.
Jack Ryan!
Jack Ryan!
But yes, I...
Wipe that smug, what is it, Boy Scout? The Boy Scout smug look off your face.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great line.
Honestly, though, I like it. And I'm like, oh...
I love the really bad ending scene of Jack Ryan where the door's closing, and he's like, hello, Mr. President!
And he's there, like, smiling. And you see a hand,
but
and you
don't see the president, you just see a hand, and you're like, huh.
And you're like, the hand is black, the hand is black, people, this movie made it.
Oh, man. So, Dirty Wars. The antithesis of Jack Ryan.
The director, Rick Rowley, he has made movies such as This Is What Democracy Looks Like.
Okay.
And The Fourth World War. So you can see already that the director is already pretty biased.
What is the Fourth World? What happened to the Third World War?
It's already happening now. Open your eyes, sheeple.
Sheeple? Oh, god damn it. You juggalo. You puppy lover.
But yeah, you can see that the director involved was also pretty biased in the way that
everybody was. Yeah, it was essentially. Yeah, I could totally see them sitting around and be like, "Man, we have to open the people's eyes to this." It's a travesty. They don't probably do.
Were you doing a weed joke? Seriously?
Dude, I don't know.
It would have been more like, okay, dude. No, just hear me out. So, we're gonna go to Afghanistan. You want some? Here you go.
Sex man.
You gotta really hold it in. This is great.
Some grade A shit.
What'd you say?
I have an article due in the National in a week. Hold on.
Wait a second.
I have to write about how Republicans are wrong.
Oh my god.
He's probably a great guy.
Well,
Actually, he seemed like a downer. He seemed like the guy at the party that he'd be like, "Whoa, man, you having some fun? This is great." And then he would just be like, "Did you know that the U.S. is funding Laurel Awards in Siberia to kill innocent penguins?" And you're just like, "Jesus, fuck it. Why? I'm out of here."
Or you're like, "Hey, man, this mixture of rum and punch is so great, isn't it?" And the guy goes like, "This reminds me of the rum and punch that was given to me by the Afghani girl right after she told me the story of her father dying." And you're like
a total downer.
Wow, I'm gonna go over there to the balcony and hang out there. You can.
I think it's closer to like, you see these ripples in this punch? These ripples are representative of the actions that we make, such as the U.S., which when they decided to fund the enemies that we are trying to kill now. This punch is the color of red. Red is the color of blood. Blood is the color of what we spill and the spirit that we hold inside of ourselves. I go write some more Republican articles. Yeah, man.
We're poking fun at this movie because it is too easy to poke fun at the movie at the way that it went about explaining things. The movie was good. I think we can both agree on that. The movie
Yeah.
was a very good documentary, and it
Yeah.
was really interesting, and it was really eye-opening. But goddamn, if that directing wasn't just
That
so...
narration.
Ugh.
I think it was the narration for me. It was just. It reminded me of the poetry I wrote in high school. Like, just angsty.
Can you do everyone in the podcast a favor and pull out
Yeah.
one of your poems?
I don't have them. I have the new computer. I would have to like go into my hard drive, try to find it, and then try to format
Can
it
you
for
give us a
Mac.
title? Can you give us a title from one of those?
Yeah, one of them was Better Uses for Bullets. One was Mad, which is Mutual Assured Destruction.
Oh my god, all of these sound like emo punk band lyric. Or
It was very no. It
title.
was all. So my theme was essentially I'm going to make analogies between Cold War and relationships. That's a pretty awesome premise, I think. Like that's a total punk band type of agenda, and I love it.
That is.
I think that's pretty awesome.
Fair enough. All right, anyway.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Even one poem I made in the shape of a bullet. So screw you.
I remember that one. You showed me that one.
That was a good one.
God, it was awful. So anyway.
Yeah, it was, but it was cool that it was in the shape of a bullet.
But anyway, everyone, Dirty Wars.
Punk music, man.
It's
punk
on
music.
Netflix right now. Go watch it. It's actually a very good documentary.
Yes.
But keep your eye out for the inherent bias. We're scientists. It's what we do. We say, oh no, this is biased. And
that's actually very true. If anything, that's exactly what our majors teach us. If they don't teach us anything else that's useful, it is to question everything and anyone and any opinion and be careful of the things that are being told to us.
Yeah, exactly. So it is our inherent predispositions to not like biases. So that's
and the way that we handle that is to make fun of it.
Exactly. Yeah. So really watch it. Good documentary. Not as good as The Act of Killing.
No, I totally agree.
Okay.
Act of Killing was phenomenal.
So good.
Yeah. So watch that one first, and then watch Dirty Wars.
Yeah. Or watch Jack Ryan and then Dirty Wars.
Watch Jack Ryan if you literally are like, man, I just need some mindless patriotic violence.
Hands gun over. Beam, 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 beam. I don't use guns. You will have to. Beam, beam, beam. And he walks away. Oh my god. So anyway, we are moving on to new on DVD and Blu-ray and theaters this week. New on DVD and Blu-ray, we have Rush, The Fifth Estate.
Oh, I want to see that.
Yes.
Can I just say I want to see Rush
yes,
a lot?
Same here.
Okay.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2, Metallica, Through the
There's a link in the book. Hold on. There's a link in the boat. Oh, that movie's so great. No. Now I have to go watch movies this week. I don't have time.
Las Vegas and Jackass, Bad Grandpa.
Oh crap! I want to see that one too. God.
So
damn.
New.
Good week for movies.
Good week.
Did you also mention Metallica?
Yeah, Metallica Through the Never. It's their documentary. Yep. I heard it was pretty good actually.
It's the pseudo documentary.
Right. Yeah.
Because their real documentary is The Monster Within.
Yeah, something like that.
And I actually saw that for it was my advisor showed it to a Psychi meeting. It was actually really interesting. Because essentially it was about their production of making Saint Anger.
Oh.
But the part that was psychology, the part that we wanted to pay attention to, is the fact that they had essentially a live-in psychologist or live-in counselor.
Really?
And then, so the questions that it raised was the ethic questions of having a live-in counselor with them. Because, one, he was there all the time. Two, he became kind of biased. He even wrote some lyrics, which is kind of weird. And then three, I mean, is that truly, is it actually biased? They paid him $40,000 a month.
Where do I sign up?
Exactly. I'm like, that's not a lot. Oh, a month? Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So, new to theaters, we have Labor Day, That Awkward Moment, Tim's Vermeer, and in limited release, Best Night Ever and At Middleton.
So. That awkward moment when there's no good movies in theaters.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on to news. Hit me with the news, Cognitive Gamer.
Hit me with the news. What? Okay, first off, I would like to start with, you remember when you were a child? Cool guy.
Oh, God. This is like one of the beginnings of your knock-knock jokes in Armageddon.
No. Do you remember when you were a child and you used to read books that, the Goosebump books, that you'd get to a page and it's like, all right, you have the choice between A or B. Choose your own adventure books.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah? Did you like those?
Yes.
Would you like to see one of those in movie form?
How would that
Not
work?
the Goosebumps, just a choose your own adventure
Well,
movie.
how would that
Well,
work?
it's getting made. So,
How? How? If I mean, I can see it in YouTube videos, but how would that get made?
I'm assuming you don't actually choose your own adventure. So I'm assuming it's kind of going to be like one of those Page Master type of books where
Oh God, Page Master
somebody
was such
gets,
a great movie.
I know, where somebody gets sucked into like a book, totally like 90s, 80s style,
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh my God, these are some crazy ass adventures that all kind of hodgepodge together. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
And the one helming it is We're the Millers. So the guy who did We're the Millers, right? But he's good at making cheesy movies, and I think Choose Your Own Adventure has to have just cheesy. So yeah, Choose Your Own Adventure movie. If it is actually that the audience gets to choose your own adventure, I'm sure that's like a DVD Blu-ray extra, and that will be fucking awesome.
That would be cool. A
That
DVD
would be
Blu-ray
so
extra? That would be fantastic.
I remember there was a Final Destination feature like that before on one of those movies, and it was essentially, what do you do? But unfortunately, if you chose the wrong one, you just die.
You died.
And you're like, this is so stupid. It was so limited, but at the same time, it was quite humorous.
It was. I enjoyed that. It was in the Final Destination 3, right? The one with the roller coaster?
Yeah, it was the roller coaster, and it was like, do you get on the roller coaster? And then if you say no, you don't get on the roller coaster, it's like, the movie ends! Or if you say you do get on the roller coaster, it's like, the movie ends! And then it shows like one of those really bad like ending things where it just shows pictures of people that were in the movie and then like what they went on to do or something.
Right.
It was so stupid. It was so great. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Choose Your Own Adventure movie gets writers, directors. Let's see if that makes it to, actually being a movie. Next, this is a big one for me because Sly Cooper movie was announced.
Right. Did you see the trailer thing?
Yes. I love Sly Cooper, so that's one of my favorite games ever. Is Sly Cooper, just because it was this weird mix of stealth and platforming, but it also just had this cartoony feel and it was witty. It still is. I love the new one that came out for Vita and PS3, even though it was a different team, not made by Sucker Punch, because Sucker Punch is busy at work making Infamous Second Son. Anyway, Sly Cooper, fucking amazing. Except they made the Hippo Murray look kind of weird.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
the hippo looked really strange.
Yeah, I kind of like the cartoony feel of the game because the hippo looked cool. I mean, it's okay, but his voice just doesn't match.
Yep.
I think that's the thing that was jarring for me. The voice doesn't match the new model.
Yeah, I agree. And the model looks kind of weird.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah. So maybe they'll change that. I mean, obviously,
chin.
this won't be out until like 2016, 2017.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
I'm gonna guess 2016 because they're still making a Ratchet and Clank movie as well.
Right.
2016, and then I think Ratchet and Clank comes out either this year or next year. So hopefully those are good. I think that's the correct way on how to approach a video game movie. Is essentially you keep it in the universe, you make it CG, and you make it nice.
Yep. All right. What other news?
Did we talk about Tarantino?
Which one? What about it?
Last week, Tarantino won't be making his new movie.
Yep, we did.
So to follow up on that, Quentin Tarantino has sued Gawker Media.
Oh yeah, right.
Hosting his Hateful Eight script online.
Freaking Gawker, man. That entire network is awful.
Yeah. So Gawker's John Cook released a response and said, someone unknown to Gawker put the screenplay on the website called Anon Files, and someone unknown to Gawker put it on a different website called Scribd. Last Thursday, Gawker received a tip from a reader informing us that the script was on the Anon Files site, after which Gawker published a story reporting that the script had surfaced online. Cook continued, contributory infringement is a legal theory that has traditionally been deployed against file-sharing sites and search engines, venues that explicitly exist as directories to copyrighted content. Gawker and Defamer are news sites, and our publication, the link was clearly connected to our goal of informing readers about things that they care about. As far as I can tell, but I'm no lawyer, no claim of contributory infringement has prevailed in the U.S. over a news story. We'll be fighting this one. So essentially, I think that's a pretty good suit. The fact, if Gawker, in fact, did not steal the script or anything along those lines, if it actually was anonymous that posted it. But I have no idea how you can possibly prove that on anything. But I'm not a detective, and I'm certainly not a lawyer.
But see, the problem is that they have already done this type of thing in reference to movies like The Pirate Bay. The Pirate Bay does not host anything. the Pirate Bay links to websites that have torrents of movies. And the US, under the Digital Rights Millennium Copyright Act, they have basically been going after the Pirate Bay and knocking down all of its domain names, when the Pirate Bay, if you think about it this way, and if you think Gawker is innocent right now, okay, then you think that the Pirate Bay is also innocent, and that what the US is doing to the Pirate Bay should be incorrect. However, if you think that what the US is doing to the Pirate Bay is correct, then you cannot be on the side of Gawker, because I wouldn't even call them news. They're bullcrap. Gawker and Jezebel and everybody else in that same stupid network, Gizmodo, everyone like that, all of them.
Gizmodo's kind of okay.
Oh, come on. No. They're dicks.
Good plug for your political agenda. We're like rebels underground, man. We're like pirate radio.
Oh my god. The point
telling you to wake the fuck up, sheeples.
The point that I'm trying to make here is we have talked about every single stupid topic in this podcast, haven't we? We hit neo-feminism, we hit racism.
That was you.
We hit everything. We hit politics, we hit sexism, we hit the use of the word slut. We did everything, man.
Lovers,
high five. High five. Good times. But anyway, yeah, the point is, I think that the correct way to approach this situation would have been to ask the people that, the script leaked online.
Right.
It would have been to ask the people to take it down, not be like, holy crap, look, it's a script for another Quentin Tarantino movie, because what the hell did you think was going to happen? Did you think Quentin Tarantino was just going to keep making the movie again? No, he wasn't. Quentin Tarantino's not that kind of a person. If you wanted a Quentin Tarantino movie, you should have been like, guys, take it down so you can work on it. But obviously,
we killed it.
Gawker is more interested in page views than anything.
I'm pretty sure nobody took the time to read it, except for crazy people. Like, who's actually going to read this script? You know what I mean?
Tons of people read it. Tons of them.
Really?
Yeah.
What were their impressions of it? Was it good?
Well, yeah, I mean, what did you think? It's Quentin.
I don't know.
Come on, dude. Come on.
I'm just saying, it's kind of like a lot of audiences still not going to read it. I say if you really, really love this project and wanted to make it, you would still make it regardless of it getting leaked, instead of making a big stink about it.
I don't think so.
I mean, it depends, right? I mean, it depends how much you love the project.
Yeah, I guess.
But I'm sure he has like 500 other scripts.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. And all of them use the N-word at least 15 times.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
I love Quentin Tarantino. Go on.
So we're on our last news story.
Okay.
And I'm gonna play some music, and I want you to tell me what this is. In Ninja Turtles in a half shell, turtle power, fighting team. I love that power word. We're really hip. Okay. The reason I play such an amazing thing is because first images of Michael Bay's version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is leaked.
And they have human lips.
Do they really?
Sigh.
Oh, they kind of do. Oh, that's creepy.
And it's gonna suck.
No, Raphael looks a little bit turtle-y.
It's gonna suck because that is the thing that really knocks CGI things down. It's the movement of the lips. Realistic movement of the lips has not been achieved yet, apart from Smaug.
Goddamn Smaug. Smaug.
Honestly, Smaug's movement of the lips was probably the most realistic and most believable speaking style that I've ever seen in any type of CGI thing.
So let's go back to the turtles.
But that's the
point.
What
do you think of them?
Ugh, I don't know.
So one thing I noticed is that they don't have their weapons. I do like the way they look. I think they look freaking cool. They look tough. It looks totally Michael Bay-esque.
So yeah, I can see the image, and yeah, I think that they look incredibly giant buff. Yeah.
Yeah, they look like Gears of War people.
They do. I was going to say they look exactly like video game characters, where I'd expect them to do the thing where, when you stand still, they kind of just like move up and down, flex their muscles.
They look awesome.
Yeah, they look like that. I mean, totally Michael Bay. Totally Michael Bay.
So Donatello has that weird thing on the back of his shell. I wonder what that is.
I mean, Donatello was always the really intelligent one.
Donatello was the genius. He has machines. So in the theme song, if you listen to it all the way, it says Leonardo leads and Donatello has machines.
I think that's exactly what's
Raphael
going
has
on.
anger issues, and Michelangelo is a party dude. It tells you right there in the theme what they all do. But anyway,
But,
oh my
but
god,
yeah, I
Ninja Turtles.
am.
Like, I don't care if they look like this. I'm just really excited. And I also think Leonardo's wearing shoes.
But so is Donatello. He's wearing these metal boots.
Oh, yeah, sort of. Or is it like metal wrappings around his?
Probably it's one of those. But also Michelangelo is wearing pants.
Kind of. He was wearing like compression shorts.
Yeah, right.
He's a party dude. He probably does a lot of flips, which it's not a lot covering their turtle junk.
Never skip leg day, yo. Okay, anyway.
And, yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah, it seems interesting. I'll wait till I see a trailer come out, and then as soon as the trailer comes out, I'll be like, I knew it. Freaking Michael Bay.
So excited. Can we just talk about old TV shows?
Well, before that, I would like your
DuckTales. Woo!
opinion on the Fault in Our Stars trailer.
Oh, right. So that also came out. So have you read the book?
No, I haven't. But
Oh.
it's on my reading list, and definitely before the movie comes out, I will have read it.
I think the trailer matched the tone of the movie exactly, which is two people just talking about existential teenage problems.
But it felt so cringy the entire time.
I thought it felt fine.
Nope, it felt so cringy. Watch the trailer again, and the way that I described it was everyone in that trailer talked like John Green.
Yeah, because he wrote it.
Well, I know, but the thing is, everyone talked like John Green. Teenagers, no matter how mature you want to make them seem, do not talk like that. No one normal talks like that. Only the man, the myth, the legend, John Green talks like that.
Well, that's because essentially the trailer only highlighted the lines that are total John Green. So John Green has a style where he can write teenager conversations very, very well. But then all of a sudden, these weird sentence of inspired intellect and profoundness
that would never be found in a teenage conversation props its head.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's sort of believable, but at the same time, it's kind of him being like, here's my philosophy, jutted from this character. And unfortunately, because those lines are usually the most memorable and deepest and usually contain the crux of the entire book hidden within it. In the trailer highlighted those said lines, like when they're talking about infinite stars and we're whatever. It's kind of, like if you went to a poetry convention and you just had two people sit down to each other and they're talking. That's what it was. But other than that, I mean, that's how the books are. That's his style, and I think it matches quite well.
Yeah, but I think that it doesn't translate very good to a movie format because the lines that seemed romantic and insightful and totally legitimate in the book seem forced and incorrect given the
but you're not seeing this to see the same story with different dialogue. The best part of Green's books is the dialogue. It is the dialogue. And the way that he can actually spin this strange philosophical, I don't even know what to call it. What do you call it when you think about the infiniteness of the universe and how minuscule we are?
Existentialism?
Yeah, exactly. The strange philosophical existentialism from a young person's perspective, as well as really universal, because everybody kind of thinks like that. So the point of the book is this kind of conversations of people in these interesting situations, such as having cancer, and therefore making these weird philosophies, or philosophies in general, because to say weird is weird, these philosophies that can be applied to everybody's lives. That is what John Green writes, and that's what John Green does, and that's what this movie displayed.
Well, yeah, but I just think that it is not.
Well, then you just don't like John Green's books.
No. That is completely
different. Have you read Looking for Alaska?
I've read pieces of the books. I haven't read the entire The Fault in Our Stars, but I've read pieces of the book, and it seems perfectly legitimate in the book, but the different medium that it's getting translated into a movie, it just doesn't work. It doesn't flow in a movie. And I don't know if that has to do with the way the dialogue is structured in and of itself, that it might work in a book but not in a movie, or if it's the actor that just can't pull it off. I don't know what it is. All I know is that it just does not work.
I feel like this movie does have a low budgety feel to it.
Oh, but that doesn't matter. I don't care about low budget.
No, I know, but actually, the trailer mirrored. Have you ever seen Perks of a Wallflower?
Yes. Perks of Being a Wallflower?
Perks of Being a Wallflower. That trailer pretty much mirrored Perks of Being a Wallflower's trailer.
Right.
I think. It might be wrong, but the feeling of it definitely was the same. It was a trailer made for people who have read the book. I don't want to judge it, and I really, really want to like it, so I will withhold. The only negative thing I could say about it was that it just kind of looked cheesy.
Cheesy.
Cliche, sort of, but it was just kind of.
I agree. It was cheesy.
Almost felt like a Disney movie kind of feel to it.
Oh man,
kind of like that low production.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just off cinematography. Like the scene where they're outside and they're throwing eggs at a car. I'm like, that looks like I filmed that today. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of, it looks very amateur.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, maybe is the appropriate way of going. I don't know. I felt like this was a movie that we made.
That we made?
I mean, obviously with our budgets and our resources, I feel like that's appropriate. That being said, I feel like this movie has a lot more resources, and if it still has the same quality that we can make today, that's not a good sign.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Fair enough. All right.
We can't afford real actors, actresses, green screen. Well, we can actually afford that.
Oh yeah, we have green screen. But that's beside the point. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. The thing is, right. I can't withhold judgment because I already saw the trailer, and trailers are meant to either interest you or disinterest you from a movie. And right now, I'm a bit disillusioned. I wanted to like it. I really did. But the trailer is not helping. If another trailer comes out that highlights stuff better, I might change my mind.
It just looked like it was incomplete. It was like they made a trailer that just looked incomplete. And I know the trailer got leaked, which may have forced this one to come out sooner than maybe expected because it was leaked.
Yeah.
Which maybe means it wasn't completely done. So I felt like the trailer was still maybe in progress because even the special effects of things getting written looks a little off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't look done.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can see that.
Yeah.
But
it's supposed to come out in like June, right?
Yeah.
Like, really soon.
Really soon.
I feel like that's a trailer that would come out right before movies that premiere on Valentine's Day.
Yep, exactly.
And that's maybe when it was supposed to be. But except for RoboCop, because that also comes out Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah, what the hell's up? Anyway.
It's just like the new Die Hard that was fucking abysmal. Did that come out last year? Because can I add that to my list?
That came out last year.
Of the worst movies.
Yeah. You did. You had it in your list.
Did I?
Yeah.
Because that movie was terrible.
Yeah.
God damn.
But anyway, we are done.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So, thank you all for tuning into this podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at TheRightPad, WRITE Pad, and Cognitive Gamer at Cognitive Gamer. You can also find his blogs on IGN or Electric Feast. Electric Feast. You can also check us out on YouTube at Postgrad Games. You can type that into the search bar. And we also have a new Facebook page, facebook.com/postgradent, Postgrad Entertainment. So like us on there. We put all of the stuff that we do onto there. And we also ask you stuff for the podcast, including Netflix Movie Spotlight and all of that. If you have any comments.
We have surveys. We have questionnaires.
Comments, tips.
That sounds way too formal.
All that.
It's mostly us being like, what the fuck should we do this week?
Exactly. So anyway, comments, tips, suggestions, all of that can be sent to Facebook, or you can send us an email at postgradentertainment@gmail.com. Like we said before, the actual podcast will be a little bit late next week because of my science trip. So yeah, tune in a little bit later and we will see you next time.